Blizzard fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Cold Front Podcast. Already going on, week 14 already, BJ?
Yep.
That's BJ Steffen. I'm Joey Bonadonna. But I can't believe, every week we talk about it.
Yep.
It's just flying by. I just did my mid-season reel. I'm like, we're almost close to the midpoint of the second half of the season than we are to the midpoint of the actual season itself. But, the way things are rolling, I think the Blizzard needed a week like that. Not that it was good, but it was obviously deja vu. We're talking about a loss in Moline. They dropped the season series to the Steam Wheelers, and that is unfortunate considering where Quad City is this year and where Green Bay is. But we talked about it. You throw the records out the window when these two teams played. Quad City felt the same way. They desperately needed a win. They played like it. They played incredibly well, and they come out with the one drive better than Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't know what's in the water in Moline, but we just can't do it this year.
It was halfway to Halloween. Their Nightmare on River Street.
That's probably what it was.
A house of horrors indeed for the Green Bay Blizzard.
Yeah, it just felt like anything that could go wrong did go wrong. We've had that a couple games this year, including our last time in Moline, but it kind of racked up. And I said it last week. I said it's going to come down to our offensive line. I was right. We had an offensive lineman get ejected after the first drive, kind of affected how our line played, gave up a safety. Liam went down for a couple drives. Cole then threw a pick, and all those stacked up. I don't know if it was all because of the ejection, but it just felt like we just couldn't catch a break.
Yeah, you would think that first drive, Green Bay feels like they had the momentum. It was a great catch by Trayvon Alexander back of the end zone. But yeah, after that, it kind of just it snowballed from there. So you have the ejection right after the point after attempt.
Yep.
The next drive, you're backed up your own 5-yard line. Liam takes a sack, gets hurt on the same play. Really, that wasn't even just Liam Wortman, the replacement at left guard. Everyone on that offensive line had something that went wrong. There was a penalty. There was a missed assignment. There was another missed assignment that led to the sack and the safety. So Liam gets hurt on that third down, or on that safety. Next drive, Cole, he looked good. And BJ, feel free to push back on me on this. It's hard to tell Liam Thompson no, but if Cole doesn't throw that interception before the end of the first half, do you feel more comfortable letting Liam rest that second half?
I would have been okay if Liam didn't play even with the pick, honestly. I think, not that the game didn't matter, right? Because obviously all games matters to our record. But in a game that matters a little less than, let's say, this game next week against Jacksonville, let Cole play. Let him play. Let him get some reps in. Let Liam just take a break. It's all good. If we lose, it is what it is. We didn't win with him in. So I think you just kind of be like, all right, let's just let you have a break, let your knee rest, and be back for next week at 100% more than possibly 60, 75%. We'll see how he plays this week.
That's what happened. He banged his knee as he was going down. Wasn't serious enough to knock him out for the rest of the game. He was still able to play, but you could definitely tell that impacted his ability to run. He was underthrowing at times. He didn't have that same touch that we've seen from him on the deep ball. One of them, he had the touchdown to Drayshawn Hudson that gave them the lead. That was a great play that Drayshawn was able to come back and make. But you go to the play with 5 seconds left, that perfectly timed by Kevin Ransom, former Blizzard defensive back, that Drayshawn Hudson gets behind everyone, but Ransom just gets in there. If he's any earlier, it's PI. If it's any later, it's probably a touchdown. And that's the play of the game, truly, for Quad City, and that's what won it.
And Drayshawn had to slow up a little bit. You could kind of tell.
Yes, the point being is that they're both underthrown balls. And Drayshawn made one play. Second play, he was unable to.
Yeah, if there's just a little more air on that, we're talking about a win more than likely. So it is what it is. It's kind of what I'm saying to most of the guys after the game. It's just we move on. If our only 2 losses this year are in Moline and we go and win all the rest of our games the rest of the season, I don't care. We're not going to be talking about this game in 3 or 4 years if we go and keep winning. So
it'll be easier said than done.
Yep.
Obviously, this is a tough stretch coming up. You got, what is it now, 5 more games? It might be 6.
5. Yeah, we're at 11 right now.
5. So 5 more games, 2 home games, 3 on the road. This week, Jacksonville. We'll talk about that later in the show. But yeah, that it is easier said than done.
Yes,
but if they can, it's going to be a fun battle down the stretch. The Eastern Conference certainly in flux this week against the Sharks. One more game that we want to talk about this week. A crazy Sunday night indoor football game.
Yeah.
I think this is the largest spread that's been.
I haven't been tracking it, but 26.5 sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were then we might have had a 30 at some point.
I don't know. I'd have to check.
I'm sure the people who there are people that do follow this.
Yes. Yep.
But that was obviously a very wide margin in Northern Arizona. I don't think they were really trailing much.
No,
in
they
the
were
game.
up 14-0 at some point. Like they were up 2 scores.
I don't
at
think
one
Vegas
point,
led until
the end of the game.
the last drive of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Unless it was like flip-flopping in the fourth. I
Yeah.
don't remember exactly, but yeah. Yeah, Naz took full advantage. I mean, Vegas had a couple injuries. I don't believe Clifton Duck played. I don't believe
Joe Fouché was also out in the second half. So
Yep.
that plays into the ending. Quentin Randolph has to play defensive back.
Yep.
He's Mr. Franchise for the Nighthawks. He has to come and play defensive back.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell they were kind of picking on him mostly in that second half. But let's talk about the finish.
Yep.
Let's talk about Naz has a chance to win the game, kick a field goal, win, game over. They go with the speed option, go and score. I get it. In that situation, you're playing to win. You're not playing not to lose. I get it.
Right. But, I mean, that's the reason they lost, right?
You do not give Vegas the ball.
enough time.
And on top, you don't give Vegas any time.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I have spoken ad nauseum about this. Quad City actually did it a couple times this week, and this has kind of been their MO. When you rush 2, all you're doing is giving quarterback all day.
Yep.
And at some point, something will open up on the back end. That is just the nature of how it goes. You could sit there all day, and when you have a good quarterback, they will go and make that throw.
Yep.
It's burned Quad City. We saw it in weeks past. It burned Naz. Jaden Delore is going to make that throw. 100%. Liam Thompson's going to make that throw. James Cahoon, when they play Jacksonville, is going to make that throw.
Yep.
You have to pressure them.
Can't
Obviously, they're good receivers, but they gave them time.
Yeah.
And Seneca McKee's open in the end zone for the touchdown.
Wide open. No one within a mile of him, too, which is crazy.
And I think there were 3 defensive backs that could have made a play on it, but everyone was just so lost that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So, irritating, to say the least. Naz does get a chance to go win the game, 2-point conversion. They have a man open.
Yep.
But who makes the play of the game?
Quentin Randolph.
Quentin Randolph playing
Just
defensive back, BJ. Gosh.
If that pass is half a second later, they score, win the game. If he doesn't go down, or if he doesn't score at the end of the game, they win. If they, I think it was the first down before they had the touchdown. They ran a pass to the outside, or it burned 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you had just run the ball, call timeout, bring Manny out, he gets more than likely drills a game-winning field goal. He'd been not automatic. I think he missed 2 field goals.
That was the other thing we talked about in that situation. I don't know about going. Nolan Krinsky did. Yes. Nolan Krinsky did, and I actually said on the broadcast, I'm like, I don't know if you go for the deuce here. Like, if you do, it's great because you back him up here at the 5-yard line. If you don't, you're putting him at the 20-yard line, plenty of time and space to operate.
Yep.
So it is a big risk, and obviously Manny was great.
Yep.
Nolan Krinsky was great for Quad City on Saturday as well. But yeah, there was so much. Again, everything that needed to go against Naz to end that game went against Naz.
Yep.
I described it as an inimitable disaster if you were rooting for Naz to win that game, which obviously you're rooting for chaos. That is what this sport is about. Mm-hmm. But Vegas is a good team. The good teams find ways to win games.
100%. It was a great game. It was fun to watch. I didn't have it on for the first quarter because I'm like, oh, this is going to be a blowout by halftime. And then I saw the halftime score. I'm like, well, guess I'm turning on the game.
Yep.
It was well worth it. I mean, I really thought Naz was going to find a way to lose it in the fourth quarter. Like Vegas was just going to make their comeback, but went to overtime and then just a good finish.
All right. Well, we'll wrap things up from what's in the past. Let's jump forward into our icebreaker this week. We've got the Jacksonville Sharks this week, and Jason Gibson. Year 3, he's been coaching this sport for a while, but year 3 with the Sharks in the IFL, he's been a winning coach, and the Sharks are, again, they're making some noise in the Eastern Conference, and they are the first seed in the East. That will be on the line this week. Getting a chance to talk with Coach Gibson this week in ahead of this Eastern Conference clash. All right, we're here with Jacksonville Sharks head coach Jason Gibson. Coach, obviously year 3 here in the IFL, and I remember when we spoke your first year in the IFL, you said it was a little bit of adjustment, changing arena to indoor style, but obviously this has been a really successful season for you guys. Walk me through the process here, transitioning here into the indoor game.
Yeah, it was a big transition. Definitely can't run the same concepts and the same, even personnel. Personnel's totally different. So, it just took a year to figure that out. I think last year, I think we 10-6, and we let one slip away late in the year, which kind of cost us a little bit in the playoff seedings. So, and then, this year it was, I spent a lot of time in the off season just really narrowing down exactly what skill set we needed at every position. Okay.
And Coach,
height, weight, character, what I'm looking for, I wrote it all down. And when we recruited, if you didn't fit that mold, then we didn't pick you up.
Well, tell me a little bit about your team. I know obviously James Cahoon was a big signing for you guys this offseason coming over from Iowa. What have you seen from James in his growth in Jacksonville, year 2 in the IFL?
I mean, just same thing he did in Iowa. He makes throws that nobody else can make. I mean, I don't know of anybody in this league that can make the throws he can make. He can just fit the ball. Is he the greatest runner? No, he's not. That's not rocket science. But there's probably only one other quarterback in this league that throws as good as he does. I don't mean that in disrespect, but he can sling it. He can make throws that even when you're covered, he can still make a throw.
Hey, Coach, tell me a little bit about your growth and your process in coaching. What got you in your start and your journey to Jacksonville?
I'm not big on really talking about me, to be honest with you. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not one of those guys. I've been playing indoor. I've been playing arena football since 1996. Okay, so I played for a long time. I've been coaching since 2002. So this is year 24.
All right.
Had opportunity to jump from a really successful organization to an even more successful organization, and probably the top organization in the country. I mean, it's the New York Yankees of indoor football.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. Obviously, the Sharks have been a really long-standing presence in this sport, coming from the old AFL days and now into the IFL in the last 3 years. Walk me through, what is it like being able to be the steward of a great franchise?
Yeah, I work with great people, man, but I got to tell you, what sold me was really the ownership and their determination to win, and the fans. I mean, it's playing in that building and playing in nobody can compete playing in Jacksonville. I'm sorry. And there's some good places that I really enjoy going to. There's certain trips when I look on the schedule, I'm like, man, that's when I don't want to play them, that's a good trip because that's a great place to play. And still just doesn't compete with Jacksonville. When I used to come here as a visiting team, it was the hardest place to play. So hard. And that was one of our goals, to be undefeated at home, and we're doing it now, and a large part of that is because of the fans. The passion in Jacksonville, whether it's our hockey team, our football teams, our indoor teams, you name it. It's just what a unbelievable place to live and to be a sports fan. This is a sports town, and I love being a part of it.
Well, awesome, Coach. Yeah, really looking forward to seeing these two teams square off. Obviously, they haven't played yet, and it's taken to about the third of the season to see them match up. So looking forward to seeing this matchup. And obviously, I know it's a couple weeks away, but a big one to round out the season. You mentioned a tough place to play in the Shark Tank. Coach, really appreciate your time, and we'll see you up here in Green Bay this week.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
Appreciate the Sharks for their time this week. And again, this is a big one. This is the one that we've been talking about for weeks. It's like, what happens when these two square off? I think, obviously, we would have loved to see both teams coming in on great winning streaks. But now I think there's some adversity at play for Green Bay that they have to come in and be playing their best football.
Yeah, we've said this week in and week out. Green Bay is a great team, but we have been making constant mistakes. A lot of our games come down to the wire, stupid turnovers, stuff like that. When we play really well football, we win by a lot. San Antonio is a different team than Quad Cities and Jacksonville, but you look at the Quad City or San Antonio game. That second half was what I'd consider almost a perfect half of football. And when we play perfect football, we look, fantastic. So we play our best game. I think we will have a solid game, but we'll see how the offensive line does. Again, I talked about that last week. Adjustments got to be made. We won't have an ejection coming out of this, hopefully right away.
Right.
So give Liam time. If Liam ends up playing, who knows? Give Liam time. Our offense will do well. Our defense has been solid. So let's just keep it rolling.
Yeah. So there is a lot still at play this week. There's still a lot more play this season.
Yeah.
Let's before we jump into what's ahead this week, we have our Talking Blizz this week, getting a chance to talk. Finally, again, to round out this defensive line, we got Sean Mustin this week. His third year with the Blizzard. He's made some strides up in his career, but year 3 with Green Bay, trying to finish the Blizness at hand here in Green Bay. Getting a chance to talk with Sean Mustin with Talking Blizz this week. All right, we're here with Blizzard defensive lineman Sean Mustin. Sean, year 3 here in Green Bay. Take me back, though, to the start of this process. What brought you here to Green Bay in that first place in 2024?
Coach Rowe gave me a good opportunity. He promised that not only am I going to develop as a man, but as a football player, so that really stuck with me.
In that 2024 season, that was kind of the start of the culture. The culture had been going here for a while, but that was the start of the Green Bay. They started to get to winning ways, made their first playoff appearance since 2019. Walk me through that season and where you really felt things start to turn.
I think during camp when we had a group of guys that came from all over the place, and we just locked in and brought into one specific goal, and that was first to get the championship, and then second to further our careers as football players. We had great leaders like Vi, we had Rafiq. They just pushed us every single day to become the best that we could be. And
that team ends up being the number 1 seed, gets to host the Eastern Conference Championship, eventually loses, but then obviously you got a great opportunity to move up that offseason, but all roads kind of led you back here to Green Bay. What is special about, even though you've had the opportunities to move up, what has been special about, knowing that there is a home here in Green Bay?
Knowing that there is a home in Green Bay. Everybody treats you right, the fans, the coaches, the kids, obviously. They make you feel welcome. And it kind of reminds me of like Southern hospitality in some sort of way, because it reminds me of Texas when I was teaching. Everybody comes up, says hi, greets me with a smile on their face, so it's pretty cool.
And now coming up here into 2025, after, again, championship last year, returning for another year, unfinished business. The team's has been on a great track, obviously a loss this past week, but still a lot ahead of them. What changes, again, of wanting to get past that next step, conference championship, to eventually hoisting that trophy?
At this point, it's more about consistency and mentality, because we're all capable football players, but staying in the same spot and being complacent is the killer of all championship teams. So as we go forward as practice and more games, we try to one-up ourselves from last week or the day before, a play before. We just try to get better every time.
So I know we've had you on this show before, but tell me a little bit, what is one fun fact about you that you'd want to share with Blizzard Nation? You might have had one in the past, but you got anything new that you want to share with Blizzard Nation?
Something new. Well, I told you guys last time I watch anime.
Yes, anime. You have any new ones?
Yeah, so I think I mean, I've grown my hair out.
Okay. Yeah.
I had a buzz last year. That got a little afro and grew.
I've heard someone's the team barber here, right?
Yeah,
So
Alan. Yeah. Tap in with him, 25.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I grew my hair out a little bit more this
All right. That's good. That's new.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
last time we've seen him here on this podcast. A little grown out a little bit. But Sean, really appreciate your time and best of luck this week against Jacksonville.
Thank you.
Appreciate Sean, and he's obviously a guy that has been around. It keeps bringing him back. He came in early in that 2024 season, and I think immediately he was a guy that you could watch and be like, he is a game wrecker.
Yes.
And now it's just what you come to expect out of him. And I think that expectation is something that's, especially with this defensive line unit, he's a guy that you just kind of expect to play up to his potential.
Yeah, and this was his first game back this last week against Quad Cities. Was out a couple weeks on IR. I don't know exactly what it was hurt, but so it's good to see him back. Hopefully he makes a big impact this game.
Yeah, it will be a big one. Again, not to keep kicking the can down the road, we have this game to discuss against Jacksonville. They've got some stars on that offense. The defense is playing phenomenally well. Let's talk about the games that we have this week. A couple doozies. Some we'll talk about them.
Hey, we saw the Vegas Naz game. Not every game is going to be exactly how we expect.
This is true. Let's look at the first game. This is Saturday. It is New Mexico, San Antonio, teams that are now outside the playoff picture. Two teams that are coming off of losses that were not particularly close in the second half.
Yeah.
Where do you look? Obviously, one of these teams is closer to the playoff picture than the other.
I'm going to go San Antonio. I think this is really just anyone's game. San Antonio has played two incredible first halves. They were only down 2 against Jacksonville at halftime. They were down 4 against us in halftime, or up 4, something like
5,
that.
yeah.
Really close. But they've played great games against the top 2 teams in the East in the first half. Sorry. If they can extend that to the second half, keep their game going, they could be a solid team. They just got to play better second half football.
I can't trust San Antonio's offense.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the problem, is they can't sustain that offense long enough. New Mexico, it's similar issues. It's sustaining that. But I trust their – it's hard to say trust because it's still a one-win team. I'm going to go with New Mexico here to win. I picked them last week against Tucson. It was the Jerome Johnson show in the desert. I'm going to go with New Mexico because I just feel like I don't trust San Antonio's offense.
No,
now.
That's a totally fair point. I mean, we saw it against our game, right? They scored 14 points in 3 plays and then 14 points the whole rest of the game. Yeah. So who knows?
Another one here in the East, Quad City. Talking about this after the game, it's like, I hope they can make this one count because they can easily be right back in the playoff fold.
Yep.
They're 4-7, Quad City against Iowa. Iowa, they scored 7 points against Orlando last week.
Yeah.
Feels like this is a game that Quad City, they need the momentum coming into that game and to still have a pulse at playoff hopes.
Yeah, you look at the playoffs last year, and we had 3 teams at 10-6. So you're already thinking if it's anything like last year, Quad Cities is already, almost out already.
I think on top of that, it also doesn't hurt that there's a bit of separation, 11-5, 10-6.
Yep.
Now there are teams that likely are probably going to be in the 12-13 win range. There's going to be a little bit more separation in the rest of the East.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Jacksonville and Green Bay are at 12 or 13 wins, heck, 14, right? So Quad Cities has their battles that they basically have to win out. And obviously it helps playing Iowa. Like you said, 7 points last game against Orlando, who's had a struggling defense. So if you're Quad Cities, you're thinking, okay, we can win this game, go to 5-7. Fishers has been, they've been on a losing streak since they've played us. Tulsa winning here or there, but they could still drop a couple games. Same with Orlando. It's not impossible for Quad Cities to make the playoffs, but they basically need to win out. That's even at winning out, they may not make playoffs.
So you going to go with them to?
I'm going to go Quad Cities. I think
City.
they're going to get the win here, but I mean they got Everest in front of them.
Yeah, I'll go with Quad City as well. Stack 2.
Yep.
It might as well. Orlando Tulsa. This is a big one as well.
Yep.
Now Tulsa's in that 4 seed with their overtime win against Fishers. Fishers is on the outside looking in. Tulsa, Orlando. I believe this one is in Tulsa. Orlando struggled on the road. I'll jump out. I think Tulsa is going to continue that climb into that 3 seed.
Yeah, Tulsa played a good game against Fishers. Excuse me. They had a couple calls go their way that were a little iffy here or there, but they came into Fishers, notoriously hard environment to play in, and pulled out a last-second win, or an overtime win. So I'm going to go Tulsa. Orlando's defense has been struggling. I think Tulsa's going to take full advantage of that, but I could see Orlando taking this next step and probably locking themselves in the 3 seed if they do get the win here.
Yeah, I mean, these games, Tulsa and Orlando battling, Fishers, Quad City, Green. This is a huge week, I think, for everyone, especially with Fishers' game looming on Sunday night that, of course, we will talk about. The East is going to be really, really interesting here in the months of June and July. So both of us picking Tulsa here. Move forward, Tucson, Vegas. Another revenge game for Jerome Johnson. This could be interesting. Vegas coming off. I feel Vegas is going to be playing too angry, though.
100%.
I think Vegas will be playing too angry back at home. I'm going to go with the Nighthawks.
I'm going to go Nighthawks. But we've seen Tucson win these games where it looks like they shouldn't win, right? We saw that against their Arizona game last year. There was no way they should have won that game, and they pulled it to triple overtime and got the win. I could see a similar thing happening here. I'm going to go Vegas. I think they're going to fix their mistakes, but if they still have, those stars out at corner and they're still playing Quentin Randolph at corner, Jerome might be able to take advantage and pull a couple points here or there and make it at least a close game.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. If you can get the run game going, especially if you can get around that. If the offensive line can play well enough, if you can get to the second level, tackling is going to be an issue against Jerome Johnson. So get him out in space, see what happens. So that will be something to follow. I will still stick with Vegas.
Yes.
The last one here before we talk about our Sunday night game of the week. Another game on Sunday. It's San Diego and Northern Arizona. San Diego coming off of a bye. Northern Arizona, aside from the one win, I would still argue they played better in this game than they did in the win against Iowa.
Yep.
I will still stick with San Diego. I still think there is a degree of separation between the top 3 and the rest in the West. Despite what we saw from Vegas and Northern Arizona, I will go with San Diego to continue to rise, and it will be interesting how the seeding will shake out in the West.
Yeah, San Diego is basically, they basically locked a playoff spot already. I don't know if there's a scenario where they don't, make playoffs, but they still need to win almost all their games if they want to get a home playoff game. So they got to win all these games, even if they're easy games or trap games, right?
They still have Arizona once and Vegas twice, so they have to win the ones that are layups.
Yep. So get a win now, get a win streak going towards the end of the season where you do have, like you mentioned, 3 games that are going to be incredibly tough games. You got to pull the wins while you can.
Last one, Fishers, Arizona. We saw it last year from Fishers, just an unfathomable losing streak. And they're running into the buzzsaw that is the Arizona Rattlers that are coming off of a bye on the road. This is a tough one to pick Fishers in.
Yeah, I'm going to go Arizona. I think the bye week's going to help them. I think they're going to figure out who they want at quarterback instead of doing this flip-flop thing. Hopefully they know who's going to start this game and who's going to finish the game. Fishers, they've lost a lot of really close games, but like you mentioned, they're on that losing streak. They've got the bad mentality. They are out of playoffs right now. I just don't think you see an upset like you did earlier this season.
Yeah, I think that was a game that the run game was incredibly effective. It was a game that Max looked uncomfortable in Fishers. I think that's turned on its head a little bit, and I'm gonna go with Arizona to get the win at home. I think this will continue to stay interesting in the West. It'll also be interesting if Fishers loses, Quad City wins. Now all of a sudden I'm pretty sure they'd be
above, if not tied. Yeah,
they'd be close record-wise. So there's that aspect of it. What happens if Tulsa loses? Then you're seeing all 3 teams that are right, and the door is wide open for Quad City at that point.
Yep.
So I think this is going to be a really interesting week shaping up, especially for the Eastern Conference playoff picture. And the biggest game, degrees above the rest of the pack, but this is a battle for number 1 in the East. Who's going to have home field advantage? what needs to go Green Bay's way. I think on top of it, offensive line play, I think it's almost a given at this point. When Green Bay's offensive line is playing at its peak, that's what's going to help them win games when they're struggling. We've seen it with the Steam Wheelers. They can find themselves behind in games. So that's going to be that aspect of it. Is Liam Thompson healthy? I mean, I would imagine he continues to progress. He was still able to play the second half. Is he able to progress health-wise this week and get back to the form that we've seen him in? I would hope so. I think if that's the case, he's back. You're back to seeing this offense at full throttle. And Kyrie Robinson was, after his great game against San Antonio, he was kind of held in check. This Jacksonville defense has held some really great run games in check as well. You're going to have to try to open things up and get Liam Thompson playing to the best of his ability.
Yeah, it comes down to the line. I think on both sides, right? You mentioned offensive line. I'm saying defensive line. You got to make Cahoon uncomfortable. He's not a rookie, but it's still his second year, his first year in a real solid organization that's got more than one win. So make him uncomfortable. Don't give him time to throw the ball. And I think our defense is going to do well there. But we've seen a lot of teams hold Jacksonville to under 40 points. And I think Green Bay does the same thing. Our line plays well. I think we can get a good solid win. But it's going to come down to both lines just doing what they do best.
I think one aspect for Jacksonville's offense that I'm interested in seeing, Cahoon is obviously one of the best pure passers in the league. He hasn't really been much of the runner. They've brought Sammy Edwards in to run and be a part of it. It's still a two quarterback tandem there that Edwards is getting a lot of looks. So there's that aspect of it. Jimmy Robinson's been doing it at a high level in this league for years at the running back position. So that's going to be a tough running tandem to slow down if they're able to use those looks effectively. And Green Bay's run defense, it's similar. It was just take what Green Bay's defense gives you for Quad City. I think that Jacksonville could do something similar. Can you be more opportunistic? Can you force the big play that this defensive line is capable of? They've forced fumbles. I'm pretty sure they're number one in the league in forced turnovers.
I believe so.
Fumbles recovered and interceptions combined. So this is going to be a big test, and I think this is a spot where you would have loved to see the momentum coming in, but I think similar to what we talked about Vegas, Green Bay, I would hope they come in playing a little bit with the chip on their shoulder and get back to that number one seed in the East.
Yeah, you just got to learn from last week. Goldfish brain, don't remember too much, but enough that you can make your adjustments. I think you just got to put last week behind you and just say, all right, this is a new week. This is a new team. We're playing a team that we haven't seen since the end of last year. They're a completely different team. We're a completely different team. Let's go out and win this game.
I think this is a team that they have a lot of resilience, that they do kind of do a good job of flushing it and moving on. And the one bad drive doesn't really lead to the next and to the next and to the next.
Correct, yeah.
This is a team that has a lot of, all right, next play, that good or bad, it's just like what is ahead of them. 1-0 has been the mantra that we've seen the guys rally around. See what can they do to go 1-0 this week. It's obviously, to this point, this is the biggest game of the season.
100%, yep. And you lose this game, you're 2 games behind Jacksonville, and you're not cooked, but it's a tough challenge to take the 1 seed back. You'd have to go out and beat them at home or in Jacksonville, which we weren't able to do at the end of last season, despite the playoff run. So let's just make it 1-0 this week.
All right, big one this week. Absolutely. On Friday night against the Jacksonville Sharks. It's going to be a great one. This is the game of the week, all intents and purposes. Kicking off the week for the IFL on Friday night. And I hope you join us at the restaurant. I hope you can tune in this week. We'll have some fun with it. That is BJ Steffen. I'm Joey Bonadonna, signing off for this week's episode of the Cold Front Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll sign off, as we always do.
Go Blizz.